first year of homeschooling go? What worked versus what didn't? What did we love versus what are we going to stop and change for next year? Maybe tweak it a little bit. Welcome to our first year of homeschool in review. We're going to talk about what we loved, what mistakes we made, and our experiences, so hopefully you can learn and avoid the mistakes that we made and maybe pick up a few of the techniques that were winning for us. So hopefully this is helpful to you. Ready? Here we go. So first of all, what worked? So the number one thing that worked for us that I am so thankful that it did is it affected our family bonds, our family culture, our family dynamics. It's been a huge win for us. And this is one of the reasons why we started homeschooling. It was part of our goals when we started homeschooling. It was part of our why. You could check out more about that in the videos linked in the tags and in the description if you want to learn more about those. But it was so important for us to get this one right. Now, homeschool allowed us to have more time together. It allowed us to go on adventure-based learning. It allowed us to have fun in the learning space, get to know each other better and more deeply, what made my daughter so excited to learn and versus what was a little bit more difficult for her to learn. So that was really interesting to get to know. And it also gave us a lot more time to invest in our community and so that we can develop bonds there and hopefully help my daughter develop bonds there as well. Both my daughters, my littlest is a baby, but she'll get there one day. She'll get there soon, I hope. But it allowed us to invest in what we thought is the most important thing. Number two, the academics or the curriculum that we made worked very well. I am dumbfounded. I'm ecstatic about the amount that she has learned in such a short time, and even with the small snippets of time that we are spending on dedicated learning. Now, if you would like to learn more about how we developed our curriculum, I will make a huge playlist down below. Most of my videos thus far have been about how we develop curriculum for our preschooler and different activities that we use for reading and for letter recognition and math and things like that. So you can check the playlist down below and I'll link a couple here in the tags as well. Now, I have absolutely loved the fun-based learning approach. I think it's ideal for this age. I have a preschooler. She's 3, she's almost 4 now. And I think it's ideal for her age, but also for every other age. And not just her, but me as a teacher. It has been so incredibly helpful. Now, one thing we've loved curriculum-wise is her learning binders. We utilize them a lot. It's one of the only things that is extremely structured. We do a lot of unit studies and a lot of play-based learning activities, but we also do a lot from her learning binder. So we have our science learning binder and her basic learning binder that starts her off with her numbers, letters, name, days of the week, things like that. So there are 2 separate ones that we kind of incorporate mixed in throughout the day and throughout the week. We don't use it every single day, but she gets to use it when she wants. So if you want to see more about that, you can again check out the description or the links up here. There's a lot of content already available on my channel. Now, the next one that worked out really well and also not so well is the schedule. Homeschoolers, you know, it can be extremely flexible and pretty freeing to have a homeschooling schedule, especially because there's so much variety of how that looks for each family. And that's a good reason to go check out other families in this group playlist. But for us, we really only did school for my 3-year-old a couple times a week and only very short snippets at a time. Some days she really wanted to keep going and going and going and going. We got a lot of like workbooks and certain activities she really loved to do, and she would just fly through them and she would have so much fun doing it some days. And then other days we did absolutely nothing other than those intentional conversations and those intentional moments doing everyday life, whether we were playing games, playing pretend, or we were cooking or going to Disney World on our adventures. We would talk about intentional things that we were learning about. But for the most part, when you think about school, we only did it very limited amount of time. And that was a very big plus for us, but also that brings us to what didn't work. Hey pals, welcome or welcome back to the most magical homeschool on earth. I'm Jordan Ashley, a Disney homeschooling mom that works at home so that I can make my dream of being with my kids a reality so that we can live an intentional life together full of adventure and developing a love for learning, because learning should be fun. And here on this platform and all my others, I do my best to give you the tools, resources, and inspiration so that you can live that intentional life that you want with your family. So this video is part of a playlist hosted by Abby from Rooted in Rest and Jessica in the Waldeck Way, and I will link that playlist down below so that you can get feedback and get an idea of what other homeschooling families' year in review looks like, so that hopefully that can help you out as well when you're done with this video. Go check that out down in the description. So it also didn't work that we were so flexible with what we were doing each day, because I think we need a little bit more structure next year. I think it would be good for not just her, but for me and for the family in general, just to have an idea of what the day will look like. Even if it looks a little bit different every day, just a little bit more structure might be helpful. So we're still going to stick to the idea that learning can happen anywhere. We all know if you've been homeschooling or living life with kids and with an intentional attitude for any length of time, you know that learning can happen anywhere as long as you look for those opportunities and conversations. But we are going to put a little bit more structure in our lives. So we need a little bit more consistency with how frequently we do each of our subjects. So when we're talking about math and reading, science, art, etc., those are things that we do pretty frequently. However, when we're doing math, sometimes we'll do math for an entire week and then completely forget to focus on our art skills or music, or even like throwing in science. I'm really grateful we have our science learning binder now. It's a new thing in our homeschool space, so I'm excited to see how that keeps us a little bit more consistent with science type topics. But moral of the story, we're going to have a little bit more structure. Now, another thing that really didn't work out so well is how much I bought for our very first year of homeschooling, especially homeschooling my preschooler. I bought tons of workbooks and flashcards, and because I make a lot of our curriculum and a lot of our activity sheets and things that go along with unit studies and binders and all the things, we really didn't use them. The days that we did use them, I was a little bit too afraid to use them because I didn't want to waste them. Because once you do it once, you can't do it again. So I would tell her, you can only do 3 pages in your workbook today. Or she would do the whole thing. So we didn't end up using them very frequently. However, I can always save those for next year, kind of as a review, or she can save them and her little sister can use them one day. Who knows? If you do want to see what we did purchase for our first year of homeschooling, I have videos for our haul. You can check those out. Now I'm going to say our absolute biggest mistake this year was not reaching out to community and getting involved with community sooner, especially those in the homeschooling space. We have this as a goal for this year in our homeschool and in our family life in general. We decided to really invest in community, both well, there's so many different aspects to this. Go check out the video if you want to learn more. But mostly, this was a huge deal for us because early on, we did have some difficulty getting started with how to find a homeschool friend, how to make friends for her that were also not going to school during normal school hours so that we could engage with people and learn at the same time with friends. Invest in the community and serve the community together, have similar missions. So, and also for me, having that connection was important to have other homeschooling parents to get to know, and not just homeschooling families. I thought it was just as important to get to know other families that were not homeschooling as well, and people in other stages of life that are no longer or have kids at the school age or don't have kids yet. So all encompassing community, very important. Should have done that sooner. Okay, pals, so for sake of time, I'm going to cut us off here. This was a great chat with you guys. I hope that it was useful. And if you have any questions, be sure to let me know down in the comments. If it was useful, be sure to give it a like so that other people can find this video and I can know what is most useful to you. If you would like to see more about what we are going to be doing for the summer and what our next year's homeschooling will look like, be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on a video. I will see you real soon, pals. Bye.